Few automobiles have ever managed to combine breathtaking elegance with engineering so unconventional that even modern enthusiasts are surprised when they discover what lies beneath the bodywork. At first glance, the 1939 Sodomka Aero 50 Dynamic looks like another beautiful pre-war luxury convertible, but appearances can be deceiving. Hidden beneath those flowing fenders was a front-wheel drive chassis, a two-stroke engine, and aerodynamic ideas that rivaled some of Europe's most advanced streamliners. Even more remarkable, only 6 examples were ever built, making it one of the rarest Czech automobiles in existence. While brands like Bugatti, Delahaye, and Talbot Lago dominated the headlines, a small coach builder in Czechoslovakia quietly created a machine that looked decades ahead of its time. Today, the Sodomka Aero 50 Dynamik isn't remembered simply because it's rare. It's remembered because it proved that true automotive art could coexist with genuinely innovative engineering. The story begins with Josef Sodomka, one of Czechoslovakia's most respected coach builders. His company, based in the town of Vysoké Mýto, specialized in transforming ordinary production chassis into extraordinary handcrafted automobiles. By the late 1930s, streamlined design had become the obsession of engineers across Europe, inspired by advances in aviation and the belief that smooth airflow could improve both performance and efficiency. Rather than copying fashionable French designs, Sodomka developed his own interpretation of aerodynamic styling. The result was the Aero 50 Dynamik, unveiled in 1939 on the mechanical foundation of the Aero 50. Every body panel was individually shaped by hand from steel over a wooden framework, meaning no two cars were absolutely identical. Instead of mass production, each automobile became a rolling work of craftsmanship, requiring hundreds of hours of skilled labor before it ever reached its first owner. The body itself was unlike almost anything else on European roads. Massive, flowing front fenders blended seamlessly into the doors before tapering toward enclosed rear wheels, giving the entire car the appearance of being sculpted by the wind rather than assembled from separate panels. At the front, an elegant V-shaped grille with narrow vertical chrome bars created a dramatic focal point, while integrated headlights sat deep within the sweeping fenders instead of standing proudly above them. The rear featured a distinctive central fin extending from the luggage compartment, an element often mistaken for pure decoration. In reality, designers believed it helped improve directional stability by guiding airflow behind the car, an idea borrowed directly from contemporary aircraft design. Whether its aerodynamic effect was dramatic or modest, the fin perfectly represented the era's fascination with aviation, speed, and the belief that science could reshape automotive styling. Beneath this spectacular coachwork lay engineering that was just as unconventional. The Aero 50 chassis used front-wheel drive, still a rarity in 1939 when most luxury automobiles powered the rear wheels. Mounted ahead of the passenger compartment was a 122 cubic inch inline 4-cylinder, two-stroke engine equipped with 2 carburetors, producing approximately 50 horsepower. Unlike conventional 4-stroke engines, every downward movement of the pistons generated power, allowing the relatively small engine to deliver smooth performance and impressive flexibility. Aero engineers also employed a sophisticated ignition arrangement in which each cylinder used its own breaker contacts to improve combustion reliability. Power reached the front wheels through a 4-speed manual transmission, while all 4 wheels benefited from independent suspension, giving the dynamic road manners that surprised many drivers accustomed to heavier pre-war luxury automobiles. Performance figures may not sound extraordinary by modern standards, but in 1939 the Dynamik delivered a driving experience unlike most of its rivals. With just 50 horsepower, it could reach approximately 81 miles per hour, an impressive achievement for a luxury touring automobile powered by a 2-stroke engine. The streamlined body helped reduce aerodynamic drag, allowing the car to cruise comfortably at speeds that many contemporary family sedans struggled to maintain. The front-wheel drive layout also provided excellent traction on wet or uneven roads, while the independent suspension improved both comfort and stability over rough European pavement. At a time when many expensive automobiles still relied on rigid axles and conservative engineering, the Aero offered technology that looked toward the future rather than the past. It wasn't designed as a racing machine. It was created to demonstrate that elegance, comfort, and advanced engineering could exist within a single automobile. Unfortunately, history intervened almost immediately after the Dynamik made its debut. Production had barely begun when Europe was engulfed by the Second World War. Only 6 examples were completed before manufacturing came to an abrupt halt, instantly turning the Aero 50 Dynamik into one of the rarest coach-built automobiles ever produced. Had peace continued, Sodomka likely would have expanded production and refined the design further, but wartime conditions forced the company to abandon many of its most ambitious projects. Some of the completed cars disappeared during the chaos of the war, while others changed hands multiple times over the following decades. Their rarity wasn't the result of exclusivity or high price. It was simply a consequence of history interrupting one of the most promising automotive projects of its era before it ever had the opportunity to mature. One surviving example has perhaps the most fascinating story of all. Shortly after the war, the car was shipped to the United States, eventually finding its way to Colorado before spending years forgotten in the Arizona desert. Exposure to the harsh climate left it weathered but remarkably complete, preserving many of its original handcrafted components beneath layers of dust and faded paint. Decades later, collectors recognized its extraordinary historical importance and launched an exhaustive restoration that returned the car to its original appearance while carefully preserving as much authentic material as possible. Because of its unusual journey, enthusiasts now refer to this automobile as the Arizona Dynamik. Today, it is considered one of the finest surviving examples of pre-war Czech coach building and has appeared at prestigious international concours events, where judges and historians continue to admire both its engineering and its breathtaking design. Today, the Sodomka Aero 50 Dynamik stands as proof that true innovation isn't measured by production numbers. Only 6 examples were built. Yet this remarkable automobile combined front-wheel drive, independent suspension, advanced aerodynamic thinking, handcrafted coachwork, and an unconventional 2-stroke engine into a package unlike anything else on European roads. It challenged the idea that luxury cars had to follow established engineering traditions and demonstrated that even a small coach builder could compete with the continent's most celebrated designers through creativity alone. More than 80 years later, the Dynamik remains one of the greatest hidden treasures of automotive history, a machine whose rarity is matched only by its originality. And if you enjoy discovering forgotten masterpieces like the Sodomka Aero 50 Dynamik and the incredible stories behind history's most overlooked automobiles, don't forget to subscribe to On Wheels. Some of the world's most fascinating cars aren't the ones everyone remembers. They're the ones that history almost allowed us to forget.